These guys just had their favorite event of the year. That would be the White House Correspondents Association dinner. Now, the White House Correspondents Association dinner used to be a kind of a funny event in Washington, D.C. And it was when the people who were reporting on the White House, all those journalists, they would get to go and make jokes about Washington, D.C. And they'd usually get a comedian to come into the room and make fun of them. And the president would often stop by and make jokes about them as well. And it was all kind of funny, and it was fairly self-effacing. And that is over. The White House Correspondents Association dinner has now become the Oscars. It's hard to differentiate between the Oscars and the White House Correspondents Association dinner because these liberal journos have puffed themselves up so much, and Hollywood celebrities have degraded themselves so much. They seem to have met in the middle now. And so you lose all of the glitz and glamour and everything aspirational that used to make the Oscars worth watching. And you also lose the self-effacing reality that used to give the journos some credibility, where these were just tough guys who were pursuing a story, speaking truth to power. They were grizzled. You weren't going to get one over on them. Now it's red carpets. Now it's photo lines. Now, Chrissy Teigen, who I'm reliably informed is a celebrity. All I know about Chrissy Teigen is that Candace has a fight with her or something, and they kind of make funny videos on the internet about her. Chrissy Teigen was walking into the White House Correspondents Association dinner dressed to the nines, I guess undressed to the nines, actually. She wasn't wearing a ton. This woman had her servants walking behind her, carrying the rest of her gown. And the scene was kind of funny because there were a lot of global warming protesters who were surrounding her and the other attendees, screaming about how we need to ban gas stoves, I guess. And so, but she's walking in, she's got her celebrity husband whose name escapes me, he's wearing a tuxedo, and then she has her slaves in the background carrying the trail of her dress. And so much for the Fourth Estate, and so much for speaking on behalf of the little guy and speaking truth to power. There were other celebrities too. There was that gal who Kanye West briefly dated. There were some other people, Vanderpump, is that a name of a celebrity? I don't know. I'm checked out. I don't deal with this pop culture because it's so desiccated and shallow and absurd. But the White House correspondents, who are supposed to be the most grounded people in our media, they're palling around with all these guys. Julia Fox, I do remember her name. She was the one who dated Kanye West. And then, do you know the most absurd aspect of all about the White House Correspondents Association dinner? This is the part that grates on me the most. It's not that they want their fancy dinner with all their celebrities to hobnob around and not oppose the establishment, but be part of the establishment. That I've come to expect. The part that grates on me the most about the White House Correspondents Association dinner is that they refer to it as nerd prom. Nerd prom, which implies that these people are knowledgeable and intelligent, which are two adjectives that I don't think you could say describe the Washington, D.C. press corps, certainly not the White House press corps. Nerd prom. A lot of people don't use nerd in this way anymore. This is still the primary definition of nerd, though. Some people think nerd just means you're really hyper enthusiastic and focused on some niche subject matter. But, it does imply intelligence. I couldn't remember if I was just going crazy, so I looked it up in Merriam-Webster, and it says, primary definition, a person devoted to intellectual, academic, or technical pursuits or interests. Does that define Washington, D.C. journos to you, the people who cover the White House? No, not at all. Would that it did. There have been times when journalists have been associated with intelligence, with knowledge in a particular subject area. That's gone. That's gone. The journos in the liberal media establishment, which attends this dinner, they are much less informed on these issues. They take these sorts of issues much less seriously than the average person on the street. Right now, go to ZipRecruiter.com/Knowles. Hiring used to be really hard. You'd post your job on multiple sites, you'd hope the right people would see it, and then you'd wait for them to apply. Same goes for finding a job. You upload your resume to every job posting site, comb through never-ending lists of jobs, trying to find the right position for you. ZipRecruiter. is the best place to find the right position, or if you're an employer, the right person to join your team. Head on over to ZipRecruiter.com/Knowles. Try it for free. ZipRecruiter's matching technology excels at finding the most qualified candidates for a wide range of roles. If you see a candidate you like, you can easily send them a personal invitation so they are more likely to apply. It also gives you a competitive edge against other employers who may also be interested in that candidate. Their user-friendly dashboard makes it easy to filter, review, and rate your candidates all from one place. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/Knowles, Knowles, to try ZipRecruiter for free. That is ZipRecruiter.com/Knowles, Knowles. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Whoopi Goldberg on The View has just come out to scold Christians because Christians don't want to trans the kids. And Whoopi is convinced that the Bible is very, very clear about how we should trans the kids.
My God, this is a party that says we believe in parents' rights. Mm-hmm. You're telling me that as a parent, I'm not smart enough to decide if my child and I need to have gender affirming. Our doctors are not involved. What is going? So I can't decide what my kid reads. I can't decide for my child what my child says is going on. You're telling me your beliefs, and they keep saying it, and I keep saying, what Bible are you reading? Because God was really clear.
Very clear.
God was really clear that we need to trans the kids and have the kids read gay porn in schools. So says Whoopi Goldberg. I love too, she she says, these parents aren't even able to decide what their kids are going to read in schools. Which, by the way, the whole issue over the gay porn in the schools right now is that parents don't want their kids to be exposed to gay porn in schools. It's the teachers and the weirdos and the ideologues who want the kids to read gay porn in schools. The parents are saying, please don't do that. And the libs are coming in and saying, well, parents don't have that right. And Whoopi flips it and she says, parents should be able to teach their kids gay porn. But then, of course, you run up against this issue, which is there's only one book that you're not allowed to read in schools. There's only one book that our Supreme Court has said you're not allowed to be taught in schools. That, of course, would be the Bible, which Whoopi says that she's quoting. It would seem likely to me that Whoopi Goldberg has not read the Bible. No, the Bible does not say we ought to trans the kids. The point I want to make on it actually has nothing to do with transing the kids or Whoopi Goldberg. The point I want to make on it is that line she says. She says, it's so clear. The Bible is very clear. When someone says, the Bible is very clear, without any other context, you should be very skeptical of whatever follows. Wise people avail themselves of history. So in the modern world, we just take one sentence and we say, well, there's no other context matters. As Derrida said, there is no outside text. So it doesn't matter what we know about the author or the time in which he lived or the works that he's referring to or the great conversation that's taking place over the course of history. No, all that matters is the words on the page and then whatever interpretation I want to foist upon the words. That's how modern people view things. And it's not just on the left. Even some people who would consider themselves more centrist or even right-wing will do that, especially when it comes to the Bible. But we don't have to do that. That's a very liberal modern approach. Conservatives can avail ourselves of the wisdom of the ages because our own stock of reason is relatively paltry. Even those of us speaking and listening to the show right now, who I know we're definitely probably a couple notches above the people who attend the White House Correspondents Association dinner in terms of understanding and wisdom and overall handsomeness. I know, but believe it or not, even we don't know very much about very much. And so it's prudent to avail ourselves of the wisdom of the ages. And so if Whoopi had said, okay, I read somewhere in the Bible that we should trans the kids. I don't know what verse I saw that in, but let's look at the history of the church. Has the church ever taught that it's good to trans the kids? No. Okay, so where did I get that idea? What is more likely? That every Christian that ever came before me including all the great doctors of the church, St. Thomas Aquinas, St. Augustine, that they were all wrong, and I, doctor of the church Whoopi Goldberg, am right, or that I got it wrong? What's more likely? Obviously, the latter. That segment is going to give you a lot to think about. It's giving me a lot to think about, even hearing it again. Wow. Such insight. If you want all of that insight, you've got to ring the bell, click the thing, do the doodad, subscribe to the Michael Knowles YouTube channel. We'll see you next time.